Hey, Toby.
Hi, Max.
This is our show.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
right.
the intro.
Yeah.
So, do we start with I, Tonya, or do we start with just January as a whole?
Start with I, Tonya. Yeah.
Well, first thing I want to say is it's probably my favorite movie of 2017.
Yeah. I'm still kind of second guessing that because I really, really liked Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But I, Tonya was great. Like, it was a very, very well made movie.
My thing with it is, I feel like I, Tonya, I could put that on like any time and watch it. But I feel like I need to be in the mood for Blade Runner, especially because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, I, Tonya is, throughout the entire movie, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's entertaining.
So fun.
Almost
so
as
good.
much as Thor Ragnarok.
Almost. Not as much.
Yeah.
Directed by Craig Lipsky, or however you say his name. Fun. I didn't know this. He made the Dallas Buyers Club,
Okay.
and he also made Lars and the Real Girl.
Really?
Yeah, he set up pre-production, all that kind of stuff.
So
And
you produced Lars?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had the script for it for like 4 years before they actually made the film. Which stars our great god, Ryan Gosling.
Our father.
Yeah. But it's too early to get sidetracked on Ryan Gosling, so
It's true.
we need to talk about I, Tonya.
I actually did watch Lars and the Real Girl like 2 days before we saw I, Tonya, so it's really weird. But,
It's linked.
Should we start with the story of I, Tonya?
Yeah, well, okay, so I, Tonya is based on, the real story about Tonya Harding.
Really?
Yeah, no. I didn't know much about Tonya Harding. I barely knew anything about it. Like, I was, like, vaguely familiar with, like, Tonya Harding and skating and, like, something happened. But I didn't realize, like, who she was and how it all went down.
My thing was, where I knew her from was World's Dumbest on True TV, the greatest series ever made, and she was one of the, like, commentators, and then they kept talking about, like, a skating scandal, and all my parents and my uncles knew what they were talking about, because we watched it at my grandma's, and I knew who she was. So then the movie, I saw the trailer, and I was like, hey, it's the woman from True TV.
So that's what she's famous for, is True TV.
Yeah.
She was on the show?
Yeah, she was one of the comedians. 'Cause
Oh.
I guess she had, I don't know how long it went on for, but she had a stand-up career or something like that.
I mean, she needed something after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I don't think we should say spoilers, because, I mean, it happened in real life, right?
We should save
Or
it
should-
until when we get later into the
Okay.
review. But I'm amazed how stupid the story was.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it was that stupid because it made the movie completely entertaining.
And I think what makes it even better is that that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, so the movie's based on, like, interviews with Tonya Harding and her mother, I don't remember her name, Lavon Faye.
Lavon Faye?
Yeah, Lavon Faye Golden or something, I don't know. But
Like a Jedi master.
Lavon Faye, the Jedi Master. I mean, she threw that knife pretty well, so
It fits in.
yeah. Allison Janney plays Lavon. She's great.
Yeah, best part. I'd say hers is probably the best performance of the movie.
Yeah, and she did win Best Actress, right? Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actress at the 75th Golden Globes.
Very nice.
Very nice. She was great. Like, every scene that she was in was perfect.
Did you find any other nominations for this movie as
Yeah.
a whole? Like aside from Janie and Margot?
Yeah, Margot got nominated for Best Actress, and the movie was also nominated for Best Editing at the 90th Academy Awards.
Oh, okay.
And Janie was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
I was gonna say this was probably second best edited movie next to Baby Driver.
Yeah.
I'd say because
Yeah.
I was looking on Google just the top results of what it was nominated for, and I was surprised it didn't have any directed or editing awards.
Yeah,
but
or
it
even-
didn't come up for some reason.
Because it's hilarious. Like, how it's edited is perfect.
Yeah.
Really early on, because the story about Tonya Harding is that she was in one of her like enemy skater girls, I guess, was attacked, and they, through a series of events, they figured out that it was probably because of Tonya Harding and or her like associate, ex-husband and his friends. But very early on, she talks very openly about Tonya does about the attack. I love the scene where she's saying that she's always been hit throughout her life, and it immediately cuts to the girl on the ground crying, screaming. It's one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I love that.
I was also I still can't figure out how they did it, but they took domestic violence and they somehow kept it entertaining, and like it didn't weigh down the movie at all.
It didn't feel like it was like preaching at you,
But also I'm surprised it didn't feel depressing, because like normally if you have anything like that in a movie, it just instantly makes it terrible. But it has like an 80s pop montage, and then you just see like him throw her into a wall or something.
Or even with the mother, like when she kicks her over in the chair.
As a little kid.
It's hilarious. It's the most funny domestic violence there is in a film.
It's true.
And it's awful. But it also, I think that's the way you got to do it, because it kind of shows you that this is like a normal thing for her. And like throughout the movie, Tonya talked about how like she felt like it was because of her, and she deserved it and all that. And I think that it shows that awful thing going on, but in a very good way. Not just like zealous,
But I still can't figure out how they like managed to do that with, like, I'm just sitting there watching and sipping my drink, watching her husband beat her, and they show it just fast enough and so little, but then they like show her fight back, and it's just so, I guess it's the editing that does it, because I was like, why am I not depressed right now?
Imagine if it was like a 3-minute long take of him just beating her over and over again. That would be awful.
and like her mom just being terrible to her as a child, it was funny.
Because I feel like the kid, baby Tonya, like didn't really react at all. It was like normal for her. And it was just so bizarre seeing like her mom just absolutely destroying her the entire movie.
And I also wanted to talk about I thought Sebastian Stan was really good. I've only seen him play Bucky in the Marvel movies. I don't know what else he's done.
He surprised me quite a bit. I didn't think he'd be as good as he was. Not the distance, Sebastian Stan.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of range as Bucky. He's just kind of the edgy metal arm guy.
That's all I knew him as either.
He played like the younger guy, and he was still like likable despite he's like a wife beater and just trash.
He played Jeff Gooley.
Jeff
the guy who supposed to orchestrate the attack. Nancy Kerrigan.
And then he also I like how he managed to play the young version, but then like the old version, like he just seems like this nice, like kind of fruity guy. And it was almost like he played, like you could see how the characters aged with the story almost. Like it felt like they were playing two separate characters by the time you saw the different versions of them.
And it's set up so it's like it shows the interview of the character or the actual person played by whoever, and then it'll go back like kind of flashbacks almost. The whole movie's like a flashback almost.
The most amazing part was seeing like the actual interviews, and they were all dead on and how they portrayed them.
That's what amazed me the most about this movie, is how accurately they portrayed everybody in the movie, or everybody in real life. It was amazing.
Is it time to talk about the best character?
Yeah, it's time to talk about the best character.
The fat guy.
The fat guy.
What's his name?
Sean Eckert.
Sean, is that the actor or the actual
real guy?
Okay.
The actor is Paul Walker Hauser.
Paul Walker
Hauser. Fun fact: he was in an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it say what he was playing?
I think his name was like Reggie or something. He was in one episode in like season 6 or something.
I have no clue.
Anyway, he was amazing.
Yeah, it got to the point where just anytime it would just show him sitting and eating, and I was trying not to laugh out loud in the theater.
Yeah, he was like, every scene that he was in was hilarious. He's this chubby, quote unquote bodyguard for Tonya Harding, who was friends with Jeff Glulley. He lived in his parents' basement. He claimed to be an international spy.
Yeah, he studied espionage and specialized in overseas operations from his mother's basement where he watched Star Trek on VHS.
He was amazing. And he is the one that basically orchestrated the attack.
Yeah.
Because, Jeff Glulley was friends with him, so the original plan was like a death threat.
Yeah, just send death letters.
Mm-hmm. But it escalated into full-on assault.
The fat guy was the one part where the whole movie, I was thinking like that was the part they exaggerated to make it funnier, because like every time you see him, he's just like, oh, I got my agents, they're operating outside the forces that manipulate the government, and then you actually see the interview of him in the credits, and he's like, oh, I specialize in overseas intelligence.
It's spot on. It really is. Like anything, everything in the movie's kind of speculated, but what there is from the interviews is in the movie, and it's amazing. Spot on.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. I really like the setting of the movie.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of movies that...
It's kind of like glorified white trash.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know any other movie that's like that. I can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything like it either.
It's amazing.
They call it the good fellas of skating, but I'd say it's more like the nice guys of skating.
Yeah, it's... I saw that too, and I thought it was a little weird. It's maybe good. It's good like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well edited and everything.
Yeah.
It's also a really good soundtrack movie. It had a couple like Spirit in the Sky and something else that were like really obvious kind of eye roll choices, but then it had some really good 80s and 90s pop in there that helped with the domestic abuse scenes. And
it fit very well in the setting.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like any Marvel movie out there that just plays these movies because it makes people happy.
I will say Marvel is better than DC.
Yeah. Very much better.
Suicide Squad is the most offensive use of music I've ever seen in my life.
It is. And I, Tonya is nothing like it.
Yeah, I, Tonya uses almost all this. Like, it's packed full of songs. Probably every other scene has a pop song playing, but it always it just enhances the time period and just whatever's happening with the scene.
Yeah.
They found a lot of good songs to actually match what was happening in the story too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't know, the chain and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Guardians had good use of the chain, but so did I, Tonya.
The visual effects are really good. Like with the skating.
My only thing was you could tell her face was put on.
Yeah, but still, even then, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like at first you'd notice it, but then after that, it was like, oh, it's not bad.
Her face stuck out to me, but like as fast as they had whoever was actually doing the skating, spinning and stuff, I don't really know how much better they could have done with it. And
Margot Robbie, I don't even know. Margot Robbie plays Tonya Harding. Did we even say that?
I don't think we even need to. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, she was the best. Well, no, I'd say Allison Janney is probably the best performance, but Margot would be a close second.
She was really good too.
Yeah. My favorite thing about the movie was the entire movie is just a big gray area because it never makes you pro Tonya or it doesn't. Like, the husband talks about how he never hit her and how she makes stuff up, and then she talks about how he's lying. Yeah. And so the whole movie, it doesn't convince you to side with anyone. It just tells you the story.
Exactly, yeah. I love that about the movie because
true story movies always try to turn someone into a hero or make them horrible. Yeah. And this, it was just like, here's all these weird people.
I will say that it did lean towards Tonya Harding's side.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just because Margot Robbie's so great as her.
I'd say like what happened to her, it made you sympathize with her, but it didn't try to make you okay with what she did to the other girl or anything.
And like throughout the movie, she claims that she didn't really have anything to do with it. But also at the same time, throughout the movie, she never claims responsibility for anything. Yeah,
they show how contradictory she is with everything too.
So it always makes you second guess everybody.
Yeah,
which is hilarious. And the movie starts out with a title card that says what, totally irony-free.
Oh yeah.
Based on interviews from reliable people or whatever, something like that. Constantly entertaining. Like, there's no downtime to it at all.
Yeah, one of my problems with American Made was I feel like is the superior version of what American Made was doing, because they both feel like the same exact type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
But American Made, I feel like, didn't have as much comedy and interesting characters to keep it going, because I remember American Made, I thought it was over like 40 minutes before it ended. And I still liked it and it was good, but I just started kind of trailing off and getting bored with it.
Yeah.
But Tonya did the same thing, where I thought it was gonna build up to the girl getting hit in the knee, and then it would just kind of flash through everything that came after, but there's like probably another 25 or 30 minutes to it.
Yeah, I'd say there's more than that afterwards.
Probably, yeah.
Because I feel like the attack happened like midway through the movie, almost.
Maybe, yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah, all
like, any other movie would probably put that right at the end. And then, like you said,
it would go silent and just have text come up and be like, this is what happened.
And that would have been dumb. That would have been so dumb.
But yeah, I was just going to say, I kind of had the same thing with this, because like a lot of true story movies do that, where they build up to what the movie is about, and then they kind of trail and slow down after. But this, just all the acting and the writing and the characters, everything was interesting and funny enough that it just stayed entertaining.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna buy it day one on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I actually looked if there's a steelbook, and there's not.
There's not.
Mm-mm.
There's gonna be.
We're gonna make the independent.
The independent steelbook.
Have you ever heard about the? They're called like Max books or something, and they're like giant, like hardcore steelbooks for movies.
No.
They get like a really good designer to just do like a super nice cover, and then I think they're super sized, like a foot tall or something. But maybe it's not that they're bigger in size, but they're just sturdier. There's like something about them where it's like the ultimate case.
All right, that's my new collection.
I think there was one for Terminator I saw, and maybe Looper or something, but.
Okay.
They're one of those things where you like see them on Amazon, and there's a bunch of them, but they don't really keep up with new movies, or they just kind of post whatever.
I don't know if I'd say it was my favorite movie last year.
For me, it just comes down to like Blade Runner. I feel like I could only recommend that to certain like film fans and like people. I don't think, if I asked someone, do you know who Denis Villeneuve is, and if they said no, I don't think I'd even like recommend or I feel like you have to be into directing and filmmaking, or at the very least hard sci-fi to like Blade Runner. But I don't know. But this movie, I feel like I could show to, just show it to anyone. They'd probably like it. Yeah.
Would you call it a comedy? Or a drama? Or
dramedy.
That's
a thing, isn't it? Don't they call?
Yeah, but that's a stupid word. It's very funny. It's a very funny drama.
It makes domestic abuse fun.
That's all I gotta say.
It sounds horrible to say that. It's just, you have to see it.
You gotta see it.
I would say it's pretty much exactly, it's like the trailer doesn't spoil anything, but there was like a second trailer that used 25 or 6 to 4 and Everyone's a Winner from the movie, and it just had like kind of a montage of not the best parts of the movie, but it's one of those trailers that like perfectly summarizes the movie without giving anything away.
Yeah.
So I'd say if anyone listening has seen the trailer and they liked it, then definitely I'd just say go ahead and buy this if you rewatch movies.
Definitely. And even then, I feel like most, besides us, we're young. Most people know about Tonya Harding.
Well, we were in the theater with like a bunch of middle-aged couples, and there was like one guy who was our age, I think. And he just came alone. I don't know if he told his friends, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the old people were laughing too. So
very funny, very fun.
So fun. Taika Waititi, just great director. I love the farting and falling down jokes.
So fun.
To be fair though, I am gonna probably buy Thor Ragnarok for the sake of Korg, and let's just take a break and talk about Thor Ragnarok.
No, I don't want to talk about Thor Ragnarok.
All right, we can save that for another day.
That's another podcast.
I don't think I've ever been so mixed on a Marvel movie, but we're probably going to reference the critical response to it fairly often because it's
very
baffling.
It's very fun.
Just every YouTube video. Oh, it's so fun, so entertaining. It's the end of Thor's trilogy, and they just turn it into a joke. I loved it.
It's so fun.
Taika Waititi makes people fall down. Oh. So now we talk about the other movies we saw.
It is early February.
Yeah.
After January.
But did we see Tonya at the end of January?
No. We saw Tonya like beginning of February because we didn't even get Tonya till like late.
That's why we're doing the review now, by the way.
Yeah.
But I know, here's where we can plug them. Our friends from the Wasting Time podcast.
Yes.
I know Ethan's going to be listening to this. I don't know about Dan. But I guess where they're at, I don't think they get this till like the end of the month or something.
Which is a shame.
So we can get the foreign listeners to come to our show.
I wonder how the Chinese audience did this.
I don't even know does China get anything aside from the major...
That'd be hilarious though. What if there was an Tonya Chinese release?
Speaking of the Chinese, have you heard about the Black Panther posters over there?
Yeah, isn't there like no actual black people?
They don't show any black people in the posters because they're afraid they're not going to see the movie because Chinese people are like extremely racist. They have the posters I've seen, they have the one when Black Panther's like standing on the big panther head, like looking over the city or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they made like one where he's like pouncing at the camera, but he just has a mask on, and you can see his eyes and a little bit of black skin around the eye holes. But like there's like helicopters behind him and no other characters. And then there's like our theater that just shows the full cast in all their glory. Yeah. I'm ready to review Black Panther. That's gonna be really interesting.
I'm excited to say the least. Although, from what I've seen, there is a certain scene that I've seen.
The CGI.
The CGI looks bad.
Let's save this for the Black Panther review though, because we got to talk about the other movies we saw. So we're talking about the ones we saw to end January, right?
Yeah.
Just those two.
Ones that
Two, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first one we saw was The Shape of Water,
which was also good.
I don't want to say it's bad, but I don't really want to say it's good. Is my problem with it was, that's a big thing to say. A woman is not only going to court with a fish monster, but also to sleep with a fish monster.
Yeah.
That's a massive stretch even for Guillermo del Toro. And I feel like the movie decided to have everything happen outside of that, just let it naturally happen, but it made no sense to me at all. Because
I'll say that I liked the movie. I did like it quite a bit.
I would watch it again.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely well directed, and you've got all the weird Del Toro effects, like the fish monster looks good, and I liked Michael Shannon's character. He has to sew dead fingers back onto his hand, and through the movie they just slowly decay, and like people can smell them. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I wasn't too bugged by the fish sex. But
is that a spoiler?
I don't know. I've had the strong feeling that was going to happen since I saw the trailers.
Because going into it, I thought it would be them getting the monster out of the facility, and then at the end it would be like her and the fish holding hands or something. But I didn't expect them to actually do it.
Yeah.
Which I guess early in the movie it's kind of implied that's what it's going to build up to. But at that point I'm like, how's this going to happen? What could possibly convince her to want to bang a fish monster? And I don't feel like it achieves like explaining, because I feel like if there's anything in a story like this that you need to make realistic or follow like a really hard logical thing, is like, I don't know, it's weird.
I guess she had no one else, because she was kind of like the outcast kind of thing. But even then, why would the outcast go straight to a fishman?
And why would the fishman go straight to her? Because of course he'd be gracious that she saved him.
Yeah.
But Because I think it's logical to think that a fish monster would be just as appalled by a human as a human would be sexually towards a fish monster. But
well, they didn't mention that he was like a god to like Native American tribes or
no, like
Amazonian tribes. I guess maybe like he's had that stuff. Maybe he's banged other humans. Is what I'm getting.
There should be a sequel with like a whole tribe of fish humans. They made Michael Shannon like a total piece of shit, and like it made sense for them to show he was like racist and sexist and kind of rapey and just all around terrible. But I hated. There's a scene where the artist who, the main character, what was her name? Was it Eliza?
Eliza.
Yeah, Eliza's like her best friend is like this old artist that she visits, and he's a gay guy, and so they decide to have him go to this cafe. And then he like tries to open up to the guy who works there that he has a crush on, and the guy's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? This is a family restaurant."
Yeah.
But then immediately after that, a black couple comes in, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing here? We're closing." And they're like, "You got open seats, and the sign's up."
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
That was a little bit too perfectly timed.
It should have just wrapped up with the old guy feeling rejected by the guy, and then deciding to help Eliza instead of just like, "Oh, this guy doesn't like me. Oh, he's racist too. Oh." And then that character, they don't really do anything else with the guy who works at the shop.
Yeah, he's just basically like the guy that he has a crush on.
Yeah,
he takes Eliza to the shop in a different scene earlier.
And they already have his art career failing to get to like show that he needs to have rejection to want to help Eliza.
Yeah.
But then that guy working there is just kind of there to be the last straw.
Yeah.
But then it's like there's two last straws because he's a bigot.
Yeah.
Times two.
Well, you gotta prove, Max. Like, he's both racist and homophobic.
Like, American audiences, they're still not really all that into gays, but they like black people, so for the people who don't like gays, then they won't like him because he hates black people too.
Right. I would suggest watching this movie.
I'd recommend it for people who like monsters and weird shit.
Yeah, if you like Guillermo del Toro and that kind of genre, go ahead and watch it. It's good.
I haven't watched the Hellboys in a while, but I think this might be my least favorite of his movies, just because the production value's all there.
Yeah.
But I just don't think the story, because his Spanish movies like Pan's Labyrinth and Devil's Backbone, they do a really good job of. They're just like completely grounded stories, but they have like fantasy elements off to the side, and it works really well. But this one, it like went for full fantasy, but it lost the realism that his other movies have.
Okay, yeah.
But at the same time, it's probably has more depth to it than Pacific Rim. I'd have to say.
Yeah.
But I like Pacific Rim more because it has giant robots beating giant monsters.
I can't agree with that. I did like The Shape of Water more than I like Pacific Rim.
Understandable.
Yeah. But although I'm not a big Guillermo del Toro fan. It's just his stuff is it's weird that I'm saying that I like this movie, but I just don't like his weird stuff.
Like what? Oh, like just the weird
style.
elements. That's the stuff I like about his movies.
It's like an acquired taste.
Kind of,
for me.
yeah.
Maybe if I watch more Guillermo movies, I'll like it more.
Just Pan's Labyrinth is probably one of the best like drama movies I've ever seen. I'd have to say. And that's just aside from the fantasy stuff, because it's set in the Spanish Civil War.
Oh.
It's really good.
So our next movie?
Hostiles. I think Hostiles might be best movie of 2018. I still haven't seen the majority of movies in 2018, but it's gonna be tough to beat, I'd say. On a like a critical like film standard scale. Like I'm sure I'll probably want to watch Infinity War again more than I would want to watch Hostiles again.
It's not as fun as a Marvel.
Yeah, it's not as fun. It's just not as entertaining. No one fell down. No one pooped.
Yeah.
Back to serious.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I'd say it's a movie that's what makes it good is the themes and like the character motivation. It's not like you're not gonna sit down and have fun and be sold on the action and like the Western stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like how all the characters had a sort of like you establish like what's wrong with them or what they're trying to achieve, and by the end, all of them either die trying to do that or they like reach what they were. Like they have a good arc that they completed.
All the characters are very well structured.
Yeah.
And they all meet a suitable end. It's not like it's not a fun movie.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most miserable movies I've watched in my entire life.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
This movie sucks.
Yeah, this even more so than I'd probably be more cautious recommending this than I would like Blade Runner. I'd say.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to like suggest to a friend like, hey, this movie's like a friend that's like normal, like doesn't watch movies all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I wouldn't suggest like, hey, go watch Hostiles.
Yeah.
You'll have a great time.
I feel like old people who like westerns would really like it though. Yeah. Like there are a lot of old people in our theater too.
Yeah.
I think just people looking for a really dark, grim, well-made story. I think some stretches run on a little too long, which is kind of what holds me back from calling it like a masterpiece or anything. But just visually and the acting great. And everything, I thought was just perfect. Christian Bale was amazing.
Yeah, he was great.
And his character, like he's racist against the natives and he hates them, but then it kind of justifies it with just the time period and what they also show how the natives are the different tribes that are more brutal than others, and then
and you understand why he hates.
Yeah, because we should probably explain the story. Is Christian Bale's character is like this general, his Union general who. He imprisons all these natives, and then the president gives him this order that he needs to escort one of his most hated enemies and his family across the country to his original home.
That provides great tension because both of them have had like an extensive history with each other. Yeah,
you can both like hate the characters and also understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, because was it Chief like Yellowknife? And he, like, from what Christian Bale has said, he's done like awful things to his troops, to Christian Bale's troops, and like he's just not a nice guy.
And then at the same time, Christian Bale like slaughtered tribes and he's imprisoning them for like super long periods of time that even the other people at the camps are like, oh, they've been here for quite a while.
Yeah. And you can tell like Christian Bale's like his troops and his like buddies and stuff. They have fun like killing people.
Yeah.
And it's like fucked up.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it portrays like them being traumatized by war and the stuff they've seen really well.
Yeah. And it doesn't beat you over the head with that kind of stuff either, which is nice.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour movie, but it feels like it's like a 4-hour special on like History Channel or something. But it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, there's no like gunslinging action or anything.
There's a couple parts I thought had really good action, but
it is good action.
It just briefly breaks the suspense and the tension, though. They don't go on for real long. I also thought you kind of laughed at some of the parts when she was crying, but I thought Rosamund Pike did a really good job.
There's something with her that I just couldn't buy her character, just because how she was. I guess it might just be how the character is, but how she would she's able to both like overreact all the time and underreact to everything all the time.
I just took it as she was like numb.
Yeah.
By the end of it, because this isn't a spoiler, just because it's the very beginning of the movie, but her whole family just gets slaughtered by natives. But I like how they have her as like a middle ground, because she's a victim of the natives, but at the same time she gives the ones they're traveling with a chance.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
like
she can also side with Christian Bale's character because she's not a native.
And by the end of the movie, it's everybody kind of gets to know each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
And there's some forgiveness, and it was a very good movie.
Yeah.
When did it come out this year? Or did it come out at the end of last year?
It said online it started showing at I think it showed at some festival last year, but it went mainstream when we saw it. So it's technically a 2018 movie, I'd say.
Which is weird for January. Like a movie of this caliber.
I don't know. I think like historical dramas kind of fit into the early part of because they would. I don't see why they put this out in summer to compete with Marvel and.
Well, it's just weird to see a good movie like at the beginning. Most good movies come out.
Extremely good movie.
Yeah, and 3 of them at that.
I'm sure most movies, most of the really good movies we'll see this year, I'll probably like enjoy them more. But just on that like critical scale, it'll be hard to top Hostiles, I'd say.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna have more fun with Infinity War.
Yeah.
Just gonna have great fun time.
I'm a little worried about. Should we just cut Hostiles there and move on to one last thing before we go? I'm a little worried about Black Panther with the politics and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll have a positive message, but I'm just worried about both like how the movie is going to portray politics, but also how people in real life are going to react on the internet, because it's going to be horrible on either side.
Yeah.
But Infinity War is going to be so chock full of stuff. I don't see how they could politicize it or anything. So that's like one of my main reasons I'm really excited for that, is because it's just going to be superhero stuff again.
I hope they just don't like dwell on a lot of things in Infinity War. They just go straight for like just the stupid superhero stuff.
Yeah, and the good superhero stuff. Not that. I'd say Spider-Man got really weirdly political at parts, even though it was kind of played for gags with MJ.
Yeah.
But Thor wasn't that bad, but I just feel like all the Marvel movies last year were just kind of eh.
Yeah.
I loved Guardians, but the poopy fall down poop fart jokes were a little much.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Infinity War will bring us back to Civil War and stuff, where it's just good, fun comic stuff.
At this point, for me, like Marvel movies are just kind of like the same things with different characters, where it's all just kind of like stupid quips and action scenes and all that kind of stuff, you know, all the Marvel stuff. And I don't know what Infinity War. Now that's why I'm kind of excited for Black Panther, because I've heard some like reviews and stuff saying that it's supposed to be mature, whatever that means.
But then I also read some review where they said someone goes, "What are those?" Which I hope to God it's fake.
Yeah, I could see it in the movie, and that will ruin it for me.
Well, it depends the context, because it could just be like someone on the internet looking at his suit and just like scrolling down to his feet, but at the same time it could be like someone actually seeing him in person in like a fight and being like, "Oh, what are those?"
Yeah.
Pointing at his cat feet.
I'm pretty excited for Black Panther.
This is just like this. I like how this whole episode is just like a prequel to everything we do. We covered Tonya.
Yeah. We
covered the 2 movies we didn't get to review.
Yeah.
And now we're hyping up the Black Panther review.
Let's go back to I, Tonya.
Okay.
Great.
This must be our last couple minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I, Tonya.
Since it came out so late, I think it comes out on Blu-ray in like 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Something like that. Yeah. Oh. So I get to buy that and Ragnarok.
Man, you're gonna have a fun weekend.
It's gonna be very fun, very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Poop, fart, fall down.
That's all you need.
Can we just spend the last couple minutes shitting on Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, that's true.
Because Ethan's gonna be listening. Ethan's probably the only one who's made it this far. So, let's see. We're at 43 minutes. Let's just spend like 2 or 3 minutes.
All right.
I half love Thor Ragnarok, half hate it, and there's like no in between.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the weirdest movies I've seen. Not that the movie itself was weird. It was one of the most weird experiences that I had with
just
the movie.
Editing, the humor, the writing.
Yeah.
Because like you have Bring Back Loki, which it was like super dramatic in Dark World, where he like fakes his death and then he ends up as Odin, and then they just play it as like a gag. The whole movie, he's the fall down, get electrocuted guy.
Yeah.
He gets like shocked like 5 times.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Then you get the scenes with like Hulk's dick, Thor sees his penis.
Yeah.
And then Thor tries to bust out of a window with a ball. It bounces back and hits him in the head, and he falls down.
That was my biggest problem with the movies. There were so many times where it was like, oh, something epic is about to, or something great's about to happen, but then it just like fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
the fake out gags.
Yeah, the fake out gags were There's so many.
Yeah. And then there's the good stuff like Korg.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm made of rock. No need to be afraid of me unless you're made of scissors. This little rock, paper, scissors joke for you. And I'm like, what is this?
It was, I think,
like his sense of humor was like completely different from everything else that was supposed to be funny.
and I think that made his character better.
Yeah, because that's why I want to buy the movie and watch it again just for Korg.
Yeah.
And the Zeppelin, the Zeppelin, there's no real reason why it's in there,
Yeah.
but it's good.
It felt like the entire movie felt like a stupid 80s cartoon or just a straight up comic.
But at the same time with weird interjected adult humor,
Yeah.
the orgy ship, and
Oh yeah.
they kept calling the big portal the Devil's Anus.
Yeah.
And Hulk's a scientist, but he's like, oh, the Devil's Anus. We have to get to the Devil's Anus.
Yeah. It's so weird. Okay, so would you recommend it to anyone?
Yeah, I think most people would love it, honestly.
Yeah, most people would love it.
Yeah, most people did love it.
Yeah, most people.
But I think people who want to watch
Good movies.
people who are getting tired of Marvel, and people who don't like the cinematic universe stuff. This is the prime example of everything that's wrong with Marvel's downsides.
Mm-hmm. But it was fun.
It was fun. I did almost pee when the end. Spoilers. All of Asgard explodes. It's super sad, and then it cuts to Korg holding Meek's dead body, his little bug friend. He's like, "Oh, I stepped on him in the battle. Felt really guilty. Been carrying him around all day." I'm full of lemonade, about to explode because he just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was. I could never take anything seriously with the movie because Asgard does explode.
Yeah.
The entire planet thing explodes.
Yeah.
And it's.
But Asgard is a people, and now the people is in a giant spaceship. But then they show the trailer for Infinity War where Thor is alone. So what happened to Asgard?
Well, you just gotta go see Infinity War. Or Infinity War.
Anything else we need to say? Or is that a good wrap up?
Go see I, Tonya, if you can.
And this episode was shitty. Just give us a chance. Black Panther should be on track. And, so we had too many ideas for this one, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's too much to cover. It's also our technical testing as well. So
it's a beta run.
So if you laughed, if you cried, let us know in the comments.
Now, not all of our podcasts will be about new movies.
Yeah, we'll probably do, whenever there's a dry spell, we'll probably just go back and do classics and our favorites. And
some movies that we like to talk about.
I like to do some topic episodes too, if we just talk about where Marvel's going, or there's another comic universe coming.
Is it?
Because the guy who created Deadpool, he just sold. He had they were called I don't know what the brand was called, but he had his own comic line of all these different heroes, and then he had team ups and stuff. And some studio bought it for $5 million.
Jeez.
So that's going to be even more superhero movies. If I don't think Marvel's going to tank anytime soon. I think DC is running out of fuel.
Yeah.
They're either going to have to just die down on the cinematic universe stuff or just end it altogether.
Yeah.
And Star Wars, I think Han Solo will be at the tipping point. If Han Solo fails, I think it'll.
Which it probably will.
Yeah, because a lot on YouTube and stuff, a lot of the top comments are just why are we getting this?
Yeah. We gotta stop there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go on a rant about Solo.
Okay, Black Panther. We need to talk about the movie,
but
also cover what we think of Marvel and Star Wars. Can you edit? Do you have Photoshop on your?
Yeah.
Can you your picture of Tonya for the thumbnail? Can you have that, but then also just put the Star Wars logo and Black Panther jumping and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect episode.
Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Oh yeah.
We gotta thank our listeners.
Yeah, we gotta.
Thanks,
Ethan.
Yeah.
Ethan and our other friend Ethan. Hopefully, I don't know if other Ethan's gonna make it this far.
Yeah, he won't.
Yeah. Probably not, but we might have him on the show one of these days.
Maybe.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just stay tuned.
We'll get better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Bye.
Bye.